Join us now for more on last night's board draw. His former Arsenal, West Ham, England midfielder, now, of course, trophy-winning Luton Town gaffer. We know him simply as the legend that is Jack Wilshere. Jack, good morning to you.
Morning, Jack.
Morning, Gabby. Morning, Andy. How are you?
I'm good, man. Very well.
Good,
Thanks
mate.
for coming on. You all right? You looking well? Everything all right in the Wilshere household?
Yeah, all is good, mate.
Good.
All is good. Need a bit of a shave. There's a bit of grey going on.
I like that.
Like you.
I like that look, man. You look mature beyond your years.
I look old, you're saying, basically.
Good for a manager. Right, let's talk about the England team last night. They didn't look old, but they looked very dull, nothing inspiring.
You're so negative. So negative.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to start the conversation. Show me the benefits that I should take from last night's performance, Jack.
Well, I don't think... Look, credit goes to Ghana, first of all, because they were outstanding defensively. And that is hard. That's hard, like, to play against a team that put so many behind the ball. Yes, we could have done it better at times, I thought. But also, you start then risking the ball a lot. And you saw the threat they had on counter-attack. So, yeah, difficult night for England. But listen, I think we had about 600 passes, 19 shots. But that's who we want to be. We want to be a team that can do that can dominate the ball. And we probably haven't done that well enough in previous tournaments. However, there still has to, I get it, there has to be a purpose and there has to be, but, like sometimes like that, the ball falls to Harry Kane, you expect him to put that in at the end and we win 1-0 and we go and we take the 3 points and no one says anything. But, tough, but positives as well.
Jack, you're a coach now, doing very well in your coaching career, manager. Do you look at that second half and say to yourself, could he have brought off either Anderson and Rice and then put on Rodgers and you play with 2 10s in front of one sitter or another striker, Ollie Watkins on? Would you change anything formation-wise?
Yeah, I think, good question, Gabby. I think you could see he tried to do that with Dek, right? Dek was playing a little bit higher than Anderson. However, like Dek's got many strengths and against teams that open up and leave a little bit more space in behind, Dek probably can do that role and he stretches the back line. I was looking at it in the second half thinking, if you take off Anderson, you probably lose them passes through the lines, his range of passing. But if you take off Dek, you then probably lose the ability to stop them on counter-attack. So, yeah, it was one of them where I think he could have done it. I think he probably chose Anderson in the end because Dek gives you so much physically on counter-attacks. But yeah, I think Rodgers probably a little bit earlier, somewhat a natural 10, someone can get on the ball. I think sometimes as well you need midfielders against an opposition like that that can dribble against someone, like get someone to jump out.
Like yourself,
mate. Maybe. Foden.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you about that, Jack, right? Because when the squad was announced, I didn't want to be one of these England fans that moans about the players that were missing. I thought I've done that every time there's been a squad for a big tournament, be it the Euros or the World Cup. And I thought, I'm going to back the manager, right? And then I'm looking at that performance last night. I don't think Jed Spence is better than Luke Shaw. I don't think from a game last night, we're crying out for a bit of creativity. I don't think that Reece James was a better option than Trent. I think the game was crying out for Cole Palmer. I'm not a fan of Noni Madueke. I think Anthony Gordon was terrible on the left. I would have started Rashford. I just thought there were loads of holes in that England team that didn't need to be there.
Yeah, I think, listen, it's never going to be perfect, right? And there'll always be this case that comes up when something happens where we don't quite like it. And then we'll say, well, we could have had him, we could have had him. And yeah, the manager's job is to pick that squad. However, I agree, Andy, with some of the things you said. I always think against like a low block, back 5 or back 4 that make it difficult to just sit in. You want natural width. You want a left back with who's left-footed who can get on the overlap. Reece James is probably more comfortable, like tucking in a little bit and being sort of that deep line midfielder. And yeah, that works when opposition want to jump out and be aggressive, but Ghana didn't. So yeah, maybe Trent's ability to put the ball in the box, a few times in the first half, and not like him really. Reece James, he does have quality to put the ball in the box, but he missed his cross a little bit. I thought Anthony Gordon was quiet, and again against a low block to have inverted wingers, it's difficult. You need someone overlapping them. You need someone to give you that natural width, and we didn't quite have that.
You would have played with Rashford in against him, Jack, why isn't he starting? Why is he getting brought on
I don't
83rd
know.
minute? Because I like Gordon, but Rashford is in a different league for me.
Yeah, I think with wingers, right? Wingers I always think is such a difficult position because one game you can be the best player and then another game it don't quite work out for you. You miss 1v1, you lose the ball a couple of times because they take so many risks. You want your wingers to take risks. And I feel like I agree with you, Gabby. I feel like Rashford has spent a year at Barcelona where, their wingers over the years and the way they coach them and the detail they give them, like they're top level. And I think he's had a top season. I think, he's probably one we might see in the next game. I think 83rd minute was probably too late for him. Like again, someone who dribbles, he gets at players. Anthony Gordon can do that, but I feel like if you can see that it's not working, like change the wingers. That's one thing that you can do, and it's relatively risk-free in terms of like avoiding transition and stuff, and probably waited too long for that.
Jack, what type of England fan are you? Having played, of course, at the highest level for England, when you watch us at major tournaments, are you like me and most fans where 1 minute you think we're going to win the World Cup, and the next you think the manager should get the sack?
No. You know what? I'll be honest. Gareth Southgate left me out of 2018. So when he was in charge, of course, I wanted England to win, but there was always that little bit of anger in me. So this is actually probably the first one where I'm like a proper fan. And no, I think, I was talking to someone last night and they were asking me who do you think's favourites, and I don't think like right now, like it doesn't really matter who's doing well, who's not doing well. I think Argentina lost their first game when they won it last time, and this tournament's a little bit longer as well. So, don't know. I'm relaxed, maybe a little bit too relaxed, and I think we will come good. But we got a game on Saturday where like we can play probably to 80% of what we can do and win the game. So yeah, we need to build our momentum, and I still think we'll be there. I do.
Yeah. Jack, I don't know if you've seen the clips of Thomas Tuchel shouting at Jed Spencer and shouting at Gordon. Yeah. Would you do that in your style of management? And what did you think of it?
Yeah, I think it's quite normal now, Gabby. I think, like people, when we were growing up, we used to get screamed at.
Yeah.
Screamed at, and we just took it, and it's kind of gone now through that sort of period of coaching where it was a little bit more arm round.
I wanted to play the opposite side. I did to Martin O'Neill. I want honestly the opposite side of the pitch.
Yeah, and like I think it's very individual. Like I think the players that you can do that to.
Yeah.
I think the players that don't need it and know when they're probably not doing what they should be doing. But I saw the clip from training as well where Tuchel was shouting "Wake up" to Jed, and I saw also then Jed's comments, and he's like, "Yeah, it's normal. He's a top coach. He demands a lot." So, yeah, I think he'll know the ones. Like, you probably won't see him doing that to Harry Kane because Harry Kane knows, and probably the same with Deck. But there are certain players that they can switch off. They can lose focus a little bit, and like that's him trying to help Jed. So I don't see a problem with it.
Jack, before I let you go, away from England, your old teammate Aaron Ramsey has become the new manager at Oxford United. Have you spoken to him in and around that decision-making process? And do you think he's got the abilities to be a top manager?
Oh yeah, he definitely has. He was. You could see that from his playing days. He was a quiet guy who kind of went about his business, was very professional with how he prepared. And yeah, I haven't spoke to him. Probably the last time I spoke to him was he was Cardiff interim, I was Norwich interim, and we played against each other. And yeah, I spoke to him after that, and I knew that his ambition was to go on and be a coach. And good luck to him. I'm happy for him because League One is a bit mad, and to take your first step in at that level, not every ex-player wants to do that. You have to graft, you have to really love it, and he's taken that step. So yeah, good luck to him. Not too much luck because we want to finish above them, and they'll be good next year. But yeah, no, I'm happy for him.
Okay,
Jack, you played against Lionel Messi. I've got to ask you about him and what he's doing at such an age of 38, nearly 39. Or is he 39?
39 today, I think.
Today,
yeah, Gabby, like, it's a joy to watch. It's a joy, for us football people, not like Andy, but for us football people who really understand it. Like, it's just an act. Like I was sat there the other day with my son, just watching it. He's 6, and just the way he glides around the pitch, and I think he's got a good structure around him with Argentina, and that helps him definitely. But like when they win the ball back and he just drops into space and he can get on the half turn or he can play off one touch, I think his football. Listen, Ronaldo is amazing, and for me, probably the best player in the world. But Messi doesn't come into that because, in my opinion, he plays a different sport. He's 2-3 seconds ahead of everyone. How he looks after him, he's you look at Ronaldo and you go, yeah, okay, he's a machine. But you look at Messi, he's probably smaller than me, which I know Andy is quite hard. But yeah, he just I love watching him go. I could watch him all day.
Jack, we could listen to you all day. Thanks.
Yes.
Even your kind remarks, and then I appreciate that. I'm guessing you've got the day off school because of the heat, right?
I'm about to go in and to work. I even delayed work for you. I delayed.
Oh, that's nice.
Trying to get some players in just for you, mate.
That's pretty cool. Are you about next week? I was thinking of a bit of golf next week. Are you playing? Because obviously I'm on breakfast next week, so I'm done by 10.
It's my last week before we start pre-season. We start pre-season on Thursday. So if it's before then,
all right.
I'm in.
We'll do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. We'll work out a day.
Andy,
are you
you've
still
got a job.
Bandit?
Come on.
What were you saying?
It's not a job.
I know, but you just said don't start till Thursday.
No.
I'm playing off 17.3 at the moment.
Okay, we've improved a bit.
What are you playing off?
Well, mine says I'm playing off 14, but as you know, if you play off 14, it could be easily 18.
Yeah, and it's easier for you because the gap between
There you go.
your where you hold the golf club and actually the ball is so small, that gap. It's like you got a matchstick. Jack, I love you. I genuinely appreciate you coming on. Yes. I know loads of people when you're on their show. It's very kind of you to come on. And I'll give you a text and we'll play next week, Jack.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, man. There you go. What a superstar he is.
What a player he was as well.
What a player.
Oh.
Remember that game? Was it Barcelona he
yes.
played where he absolutely smashed it to pieces?
Yes.
Only a teenager.
I played against him when he played for Bolton.
Yeah.
On loan at Bolton
still had it.
As a kid before.
Oh, I see. Before then.
Yeah. And everyone was trying to kick him, couldn't get near him.
No.